From the ring ropes to the mat, till you're laid out on your back. All these jobbers flat. Oh, chop, chop, body slam.
Motherfucker! Oh.
And we're live.
Okay, that's how we're coming back. Yes, I guess if you missed us, welcome back.
Welcome back. That's the vibe today.
That is the vibe today. Welcome to Chatter Machine. It has been, I think, a month since we last talked to you. So let us gather ourselves a little bit. It's been quite a month.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, now you have a window on how I entertain myself while she's out of town.
You had to do a lot of that. I was out of town for a while.
Yes.
So for about a week plus before Revolution, I was on a girls' trip with my mom and sister, which was really lovely, and I was mostly disconnected.
Mm-hmm.
I did have some Wi-Fi that I tried not to use that often, but I did catch up a bit. I kind of asked you to give me the gist of like what I was missing, because there was a whole like a Dynamite, two Dynamites and two collisions effectively that. I missed before Revolution. And of course I went to Revolution. Mm-hmm. So I didn't want to have no idea what was going on.
Yeah. And I think you did manage to watch a little bit on like an iPad at some point.
I did. And I managed to get mostly caught up. And then the Saturday, the day before Revolution, I took Amtrak from San Diego to LA, which was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a really lovely, fun experience, and set off on kind of a mini adventure by myself to end the trip. Once I got to LA, like very shortly after that, got to meet up with the AEW heels. And was warmly welcomed by one Aubrey Edwards at the bar where we were all meeting up, and just had a really nice experience meeting some of those ladies. And Aubrey is in particular is just such a warm and talkative and interesting person, and very free to share, not insider secrets, but just shared a lot of cool experiences she's had, and a little bit of stuff that I will not share, but who's hot under the lucha mask and who is not hot under the lucha mask, and it may or may not be people you expect. But that's not
Don't tell anybody.
That's not my secret to tell. That is all Aubrey's business. So that was lovely. And then, I didn't have too much time in LA. Well, I had more time in LA than I anticipated originally, but we'll get to that. But Sunday, I had basically the day open to myself. I had a really nice hike, and then I got some snacks for the hotel room because I knew that after Revolution it was probably going to be late, and I just wanted to fortify myself, and made my way over to the Staples Center, which I will not be calling by any other name, and just had a really lovely experience. I had a credit to get a ticket off StubHub, so I did that, and it was a kind of nerve-wracking experience. I didn't know whether I could trust StubHub at all, and it turned out when I did receive the ticket that it was a VIP section ticket, and I was which I didn't know when I bought it, and it didn't come with a meet and greet or anything that, but I still got to go in the VIP entrance and feel what is this? Who is this fancy person?
Not like the rest of us jobbers.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, plebes. No, but I was actually sitting right behind the hard cam, right behind the little production zone, so I could kind of see a little bit what they were doing, and it was just good. The vibes were pretty good, all in all, at the arena. So since we have not talked to you in so long, we're not going to try to do a recap of all the different shows that have happened and all that kind of stuff.
I mean, we didn't even do episodes for what was before Revolution.
Exactly. So it's so much. So I thought what we could do is kind of go through the matches from Revolution and the 0 Hour, and then branch off from there to talk about kind of the various title scenes or what has kind of happened since then.
Yeah, at least just kind of what's going on now.
Yeah, we're not gonna.
Where are we now?
We're not recapping everything. Obviously, if you're listening to this now, you're not looking for a recap. It's practically time for Dynasty. So we'll give you a couple takes.
2 takes.
I don't have too many hot takes about this event. I honestly pretty much just genuinely enjoyed being there. Looking at the card beforehand, most of the matches, I was kind of this could go either way, and I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Pretty much all of them felt like they weren't necessarily obvious heel face matchups, or like, yeah, I kind of think I know what Tony Khan's getting at here, but it felt like it could go either way.
Yeah.
On a lot of them.
Yeah.
So
let's get started.
Yeah, let's do it. So we opened hot with fucking Boom and Doom, accompanied by, of course, Aaron Solo, Big Justice, and the Rizzler.
Thank God the Rizzler was there.
Thank God the Rizzler was there. And once again, we've been to a few events now where Boom and Doom and the Rizzler show up, and it's like, or maybe we haven't been there for the Rizzler, to be fair. I suppose the Rizzler is like LA based. But I
have no idea.
Sorry. Okay. Anywho, we've been there for a few Boom and Doom.
Yeah. Well, because they've been doing it every 0 hour the last couple.
And every time I'm just in awe of like, wow, everyone in the crowd is really excited about the Costco guys. And it doesn't bother me, but I always feel like, man, am I the fucking Grinch? Because I don't give a fuck about the Costco guys.
This is one of those things where it's like, I feel like an anthropologist.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, all right, this is what we're doing now.
The people seem to be very invested in the success of these gentlemen and their chicken bakes.
Yeah.
But I was kind of like, whatever. But the Infantry were the perfect matchup for these guys. So fun. This match really set the tone in a fun way for the whole event that I wasn't expecting. When RJ and Renee and Jeff Jarrett came out, of course, they're not mic'd in the arena. We have no idea what they're saying. So the introduction of Wayne Brady at ringside was not obvious.
Yeah.
I guess unless if you were looking at the camera, if you were looking at the Jumbotron, maybe you spotted him. But so this reveal that Wayne Brady is there in the stands and then Shane Taylor comes and fucks with him was very entertaining. And then Big Justice getting this clean fucking spear on Shane Taylor.
Yeah.
I hooted, I hollered, I screamed. I was the only person in my section cheering for the Infantry because I can't not cheer. I always cheer for STP. After seeing them win the 6-man Ring of Honor belts, that was a formative wrestling experience for us. That was our first wrestling event. Death Before Dishonor, which was again, I'll say it a million times, what a way to start one's live wrestling viewing experience. But I will always have a soft spot in my heart for STP. And so, yes, if the Costco guys are up against the Infantry, I'm gonna I'm rooting for the heels. Which I don't usually do. But and Trish was being amazing at ringside, and I haven't been watching Ring of Honor because of all this, but I was happy that Christian XO was there, and that was just a blast. It was so fun. It could have been this stupid throwaway match, and of course it kind of was, but it was more fun than it had any right to be.
Yeah, they do. I don't care about the Costco guys. I'm not invested in them one way or the other, but I will say that when they do these matches for the 0 hours, it's good fun, and it sets it's a good opening thing, and
And I still, this is showing my age, but I cannot see Wayne Brady without thinking, why do white people love Wayne Brady? Because he makes Bryant Gumbel look like Malcolm X.
I don't even remember what that was
from. It was from Dave Chappelle before he realized revealed himself to be such trash back in the day.
Right.
Anyway, let's move on to actual matches. So we had the TBS title match, Willow Nightingale versus Lena Kross. I understand why they did everything they did here. I get why it was Lena Kross, because it would have been kind of unfair to then have Willow up against somebody who was fresh in the tag team championship. This kind of set the tone for all the women's matches of the night, in the sense that the real shame of the night, I think, was that the women's matches all felt like very foregone conclusions.
Yeah.
It's still fun. They looked good. I enjoyed all the matches. We'll get to actually the exception to this, which was Toni versus Marina. But I think it was good, ever since Willow had that promo after the New Year's show where she said, she's a double champion, but she's going to defend her belt twice at a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Well, that was Chekhov's belt defense,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, you
Yeah,
knew.
absolutely.
I'm glad that they actually did that. And I mean, I guess that promo was to say that she will be doing that.
Yeah.
But then you kind of knew what was going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, just taking it as scripted television, I liked the sort of overall story they were telling here.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do what they ended up doing, like, sure, this works.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm glad that she did wind up doing the double defense thing. I think if it hadn't been for that promo, a lot more of us would be like, oh, why didn't they just do this on television?
right,
But other
right.
than that, it's fine. It's fine. It was fine.
Yeah.
Then the last thing on 0 Hour was the national title, the 21-man Blackjack Battle Royale, which, again, before the event, you and I said to each other, like, I'll just be kind of annoyed if it's just Jack Perry in the end, right?
Yeah,
like, we were both kind of feeling like, oh, Jack Perry and Ricochet have had this protracted battle back and forth, and now you have this really interesting, chaotic setup.
Yeah.
And if it just ends with Jack Perry winning, or like with another kind of effectively a singles matchup,
yeah,
like, I thought that would feel kind of disappointing. I didn't actually feel disappointed in the moment at all. I was really happy to see all these guys in this match. Like, the assortment of guys here didn't really feel to me like they were just shaking out the box of dudes. And, it felt deliberate, if you will.
There were some good choices overall.
Yeah.
And it was fun to see. Yeah.
I was really delighted to see AR Fox back.
Yes.
I hadn't, I guess maybe he had come back previously on Ring of Honor and I just hadn't seen it yet.
Maybe.
I'm not sure if this was his re-debut after injury, but I was very happy to see him, and I didn't know he was going to be there.
Yeah.
The funniest part was Shibata, like, being there in person and not hearing the commentary. I didn't even realize Shibata was there until, like, at least halfway through the match when Shibata gets in the ring. I went, Shibata's been here the whole time? Like, he didn't even get an entrance. What the fuck?
That's funny.
And then we got Lio Rush coming in, and we had seen the pictures of Lio having his head shaved.
Right.
And I was like, I don't know if I said that on the pod, but I was like, kind of sucks that he didn't do it in a Lucha de Apuestas, but I didn't realize that he was doing it as, like, moving into the Black Heart.
Right.
Or kind of like goblin mode,
Just sort of showing up suddenly as a new character.
Yeah. And I fucking love Lio Rush. I mean, I think he moves in such an interesting way. And of course, we were introduced to him when he was kind of acting normal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
But even when he's acting normal,
yeah,
he moves really interestingly.
Fun,
and so between Lio Rush and El Clone and AR Fox, all those guys together, I was just like, I need singles matches.
Yes.
I need singles matches of this.
I was just double checking, and there were like 3 whole Ring of Honor things before Revolution, and I know one of those had that really cool. We're not going to go through all the Ring of Honor stuff, but I will say I really enjoyed the one episode that ended with
God,
4-leaf clover 4-way match. That was, I think, AR Fox's return.
Yes, and once I got home, you had me watch that. Yeah, and it was a delight.
And I mean, it was great that he returned, and then the fact that, like, not only did he won, but the stip was this thing where, like, he gets an immediate title challenge, and it's surprise it's Okada doing his first international defense in a while.
That was fucking wonderful.
It was all really fun.
That was wonderful. That almost made me forgive the Jacksonville studio crowd for being so annoying.
Oh my god. Let's not even get into that. Yeah. I do want to say did you have more that you were about to?
I was also going to say it was great to see Trent back.
Yes.
And of course, the funniest part, I'm always here to see Rocky vamp for the camera and then immediately get murdered and become the first man eliminated.
Yeah, that was fun.
Very fun. Very fun. Good, clean fun.
The ego, the hubris.
Yes. Well, that's kind of the whole, I was going to get to that with Willow also. Kind of the big story of this whole event was hubris. Downfall and hubris.
It's interesting because Willow, and I'm sure again when we'll talk about it more later, but Willow is such a everybody loves her person that we don't immediately jump into like, oh, the hubris of this. Like that could be a very easy kayfabe storyline that
I think they are starting to tell that
to a little,
here.
maybe a little bit.
We'll see.
It hasn't been as explicit.
We'll see where they go with it, but in my mind, the thread is being
woven.
Yeah.
For the Blackjack Battle Royale, I did like how it ended. I didn't feel disappointed like I expected
same.
I would. And I think part of that is this is another one of those situations where I was getting worked and it worked. Like getting worked, and then I was like happy to see him get it. I
it
think
works
the
if
only
you get worked, so get worked, it's worth it.
12 steps of wrestling.
Yes.
Fandom. I do think still I had a genuine feeling of like I'm kind of getting, I think they had maybe like one too many build-up matches. Like there was something a little bit like, okay, we're doing this again and he's still not winning.
Well, that's another recurring theme, isn't it?
So there is something in all of this, and I'm sure this will come up with other things as we discuss it, but I'll just put a pin in. There is something to sort of learning to be less impatient. I feel like I'm often very impatient for these storylines to do something.
Yeah.
Which is, again, not to say that they also don't go too slow sometimes, but
no, this is something we've talked about though, and this will be a recurring theme, I'm afraid.
Yep, it is always.
It is. The only other thing I want to say about this match was, holy shit, Commander, my heart was in my throat. I was on the edge of my seat, biting my fingernails when he went to run the full ropes, like around the corner to do that. I was just like, and then watching it get, I haven't watched the whole thing again with commentary, but I watched some of it so far with the commentary, and to have them then explain, like, even though he went over the ropes and out of the ring, he never entered the ring, so therefore he is not eliminated, was very funny. Very funny. It was like, they're like, I know you nerds are going to say something. So
there were some little legalese stuff being explained during that match.
And overall, I was happy to see Jack win. Unfortunately, this is the thing with being in person at pay-per-views. As soon as he won, I was like, I better run to pee, because it was already in the main Revolution event. I didn't know what was going to happen next.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to miss anything, but unfortunately I missed his like little celebration with his mom and sister. So when I saw that on the broadcast, I was like, oh, the Curlies really defeated the Balds today. Like, it was very sweet and lovely, and I really enjoyed it, even if we were grumbling before the match. So.
Yeah.
Would have liked to see more from Bowens. I want to see more with Bowens, but you know, that thread has kind of been dropped at the moment, so we'll see if it picks up again later.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Having started the official Revolution event in the middle or near the end of this Battle Royale, because that's what we're doing now. We're starting everything media in res. Is that the term? Yeah. Then I'm running back from the bathroom, or like I'm like drying my hands, and they're announcing FTR and the Bucks, and I'm going, fuck, we're doing this already. Like run. So we had FTR versus the Bucks, and I just have to say, I enjoyed this match very much. Wild stuff on the part of the Bucks to come out with all their children, get really bloody, and fucking lose. Was, including the like pep talk from the kids, because I remember texting you. We didn't text the whole time, but I remember texting you when I saw them with the kids, like, oh, I guess they're winning. You know, because like, how are you gonna come out with the children like that and then lose? I love it. Drama, beautiful, perfect.
They are, as I think it was Tunnel Talk said, emotional terrorists or something. Anyway,
I believe that was our friends at Waffly Bollocks who called them emotional terrorists, and I fully agree.
Yes.
I thought that was wonderful.
I loved it. Yeah.
I really got swerved there, and I like it.
And for someone who generally, when it's like, oh, it's going to be the Bucks versus FTR again, as kind of like my feeling, and again, it's funny for me to even have a feeling like this, given we've still been watching like less than a year.
Yeah.
But oh, it's going to be them again. I appreciate all the effort that went into making it feel like a unique, epic thing.
It was a really fun
I was worked and I enjoyed it, so that was good.
Have I kind of been like, oh, the Bucks, FTR, whatever. If the Bucks and FTR is going to be fun.
They're great. Yep, it was great.
It's going to be fun. And so then we have our first big return, and everybody exhales, right? Because everything goes black, and then Cope's
and we can finally move on.
And we can finally fucking move on from, you know, being held hostage by FTR with the tag titles.
Yeah.
Right? So, and then we And then Christian Cage comes out.
Yeah.
I believe you texted me, God, I've never been so happy to see Christian Cage. And you know what? I agree.
Yeah.
I was delighted to see Christian
Yeah.
Cage. And given that we've only been watching for a year and like, you know,
the gimmick he had during the time we started watching was enjoyable to me. For a little while, it was like, "What the fuck is this?" But
Christian Cage is very amusing.
It's very Him embracing being an asshole was a great note, and I'm glad that that's just staying.
Yep.
Yes, it's all good.
Yep, very fun. We move on to Toni Storm and Marina Shafir with everyone banned from ringside. I actually sort of thought Marina might win this. I don't know. That's just me. That's just me being my little unrealistic wrestling brain. I don't know why I thought Marina would win this, but could have been cool.
Could have been.
Could have really turned stuff on its head. Of course, everyone was barred from ringside, I guess, until fucking Ronda Rousey showed up.
Yeah.
But the match was over, to be fair.
Yeah.
I don't have a whole lot to say about that. She got roundly booed in the arena.
And rightly so.
And frankly, seeing this, I didn't personally have a thought like, oh, AEW's gonna have a whole arc with her.
Right.
I didn't really get that impression. Right. And then I do understand that the internet like exploded after this happened. And understandably so. Like, I'm not, it's fine. But understandably so. But that said, it kind of just reminded me like, let me take a breath. We can all say this sucks.
Yeah.
Because it sucks. But we don't have to assume that there's some huge baggage like tied to it.
Yeah.
To me, it just seemed like a moment that sucked. And I'm glad that seems to be all it was. Like, whether they canceled.
Right.
Like they probably maybe had.
They were gonna do.
It sounded like maybe they were going to set up like a match with Toni, maybe. But maybe tops.
Yeah.
Which would be a big thing to do. But well, for many reasons, that ain't happening. So
yeah, I'm glad.
I'm not worried about it.
I think it's good to say loudly and clearly, yeah, this sucks.
Yeah,
don't want this.
She sucks. We don't want that. It is very very monkey's paw, isn't it? Like, we're all like, more women, and then like, oh, not that one.
Yeah. Well, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. So whatever. We can move on. So Toni, just to kind of continue what was going on there, Toni then was set up to do the no holds barred rematch versus Marina that following Wednesday on Dynamite, and was really abruptly replaced by Mina Shirakawa, which I thought was a wonderful way to do it. Like, I was surprised. I didn't hear the whatever news about Toni having to be out. I just said, oh, Mina, I thought it was going to be Toni, and Mina did an amazing job. Like,
to me, that's just good TV writing.
It worked really well. And
I liked it.
Yeah, I won't speculate on why Toni's going to be out, and I hope everything's okay. And that's that.
Yep.
I'll miss her a lot, but also I think there's a lot of room for a lot of women to shine.
Yeah.
Whether or not Toni's around. So I think
as
long as everybody stays happy and healthy, that's what's important here.
Yep.
And let's talk about Mina for a second. Holy shit, dude.
Mina Shirakawa.
Okay, sorry, Meerkat Ultra. Let's not.
It's just fun.
It is fun to say Mina Shirakawa. Was anyone expecting her to beat Marina Shafir? To come out hot and angry and whoop her ass?
Not really, no.
I fucking love that. I mean, those of us who enjoy watching Mina have watched her take a lot of pins.
Yeah. It was the right move at the right time, I think.
It was good. And then which set up then the following week, the women's world title match.
Yeah.
Against Thekla, which, like, we'll get to talking about the title scene and everything again a little later, but just to shout out Mina. This match, I mean, we knew she wasn't going to beat Thekla for the championship, but this match made Mina look like $1 million.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, and I know this is sort of how things go sometimes. You have someone who's an incredible talent, but they are kind of not positioned as such for a while.
Right.
And I keep hearing how great she is, but she's had a lot of matches where she's positioned to just sort of, like, take the pin. And she looks good all the time. Not like no knock on her. I'm just saying, like, but it's really great to see a couple of matches here where it's like she's doing great. And
she's not always like elevated into that echelon,
yeah.
And she doesn't always get to like show off what she can do. And it was great to see her with Thekla. I've never seen any of their matches from Stardom, but I would love to. It's I get the vibe that they're like really close.
Yeah,
and it just seemed like they were both having a blast. What I will say, well, we'll get to the women's title scene, but I was like, damn, Thekla needs to get a clean win someday.
Yeah. And this is where, with Toni out and Mina having this little thing go on and losing that but not clean, sets up, now she gets to collaborate with other people. And so we're getting her set up with the Brawling Birds.
Yes.
They're going to go after the whole Triangle of Madness.
Right, the Brawling Birds had a match with
great.
the Sisters of Sin in somewhere in this aftermath, and now they're teaming up with Mina. Very fun.
Yeah, so I'm happy to see where that goes. And, we're going to have the faction that's cheating and stuff keep being cheaters until they get their spanks, spanked.
Yeah, presumably.
So,
presumably.
Spanked by someone. We're just waiting to find out who eventually is going to spank them. That's wrestling in a nutshell. Sometimes it's actual spanking.
Who did we actually see spanking?
Oh, Eddie Kingston in the, I think it was a Ring of Honor match, but he just didn't, he couldn't help himself.
Couldn't help himself.
Had to give someone on. I think it was Rocky he slapped on the butt.
I think he slapped Rocky Romero on the butt. Love you, Eddie. You're the best. Okay, so moving on. Speaking of being weird, speaking of being in factions full of weird cheaters and heels.
Yes.
We had Jon Moxley versus Konosuke Takeshita for the Continental belt.
Mm-hmm.
This was the only match where when it concluded, I jumped up out of my chair and I said, no, fuck that. This was the only one where I was actually mad about the outcome.
Yeah.
And, should I be? I'm not sure. I think that's a pretty lukewarm take. Like, I think a lot of people were kind of like, this was a good moment to give it to Takeshita.
Right.
I'm not sure if this is an example of like, well, we're going slow because there's a good plan in place, or like we are dumping cold water on somebody who was really hot.
Right.
I kind of think that remains to be seen a little bit, but this I've been finding a bit frustrating.
Right.
Because, this man was on everybody's Wrestler of the Year shortlist and now is just being defeated in big matches.
Right.
After being undefeated in the C2. And it's like, at some point, the fans are going to lose their investment if you don't give him a big win.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't know. I thought this was the time to put the belt on Takeshita. But, I also understand there's a lot of shit going on behind the scenes. I understand. I'm sure there's a big program with Okada planned. But I just felt like you gotta shit or get off the pot.
Right.
Yeah.
I was a little bit surprised. I wasn't really upset with it, but I was surprised.
I was upset.
I did just think Takeshita was going to win here.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I get why people don't have necessarily like great faith in the storytelling all the time. Like we talked off the pod a little bit about the sort of amazing success of Hangman at All In and how that was really like cathartic, and it was a good storyline and people liked it, and how, what happened.
Yeah.
But in hindsight, there's a little bit of question in my mind of like, how much of that was even intentional? Did they just get lucky? But there are people involved here who are trying to tell good stories, and I don't know. I'm open to So since then, we've had some promos where like, well, Take is making overtures to Fletcher, and Okada is making. There's still this drama going on.
Yeah.
And Fletcher himself is doing some things where he's like, Don wants to do this and that, but I kind of disagree. He doesn't really want to be working with MJF. He wants to go get the title himself.
Yeah. I do want to take some time to talk about whatever's going on with the DCF.
Sure.
And the Death Riders, I feel like there's a little bit less to discuss at this moment in time, but let's just put a pin in the DCF stuff until we talk about the trios.
I'm just saying that the storyline for Take, whether or not they really have a solid idea of what they're doing, or they're just putting things on hold for whatever other reasons, there is still at least meat on those bones, and they're showing that they're interested in doing something. So I'm just kind of like, all right, let's see what drama we're going to do.
And speaking of meat on those bones, if you haven't been listening to the Tunnel Talk Bodies, Bodies, Bodies competition, it is so fucking fun. And I really regret not having voted. I admitted, I felt like listen, I vote in all my electoral stuff, all right? So don't get on my case about this. I'm not one of those people who doesn't vote and then complains about the result. But it became clear that if I had voted, potentially Chuck Taylor could have made it into the bracket.
Your vote could have counted here.
My vote could have, unlike my vote in New York, my vote could have really made a difference here, and I feel a bit of shame listening to the tournament. But you know what? It's really fun.
Good.
And yeah. So meat on those bones. So Takeshita shakes Mox's hand after hesitating, and it was kind of a nice moment. Everything goes black again. And we cut to this really jarring and it wasn't clear to me, this video package, it was not clear to me who this was even about,
right,
until Ospreay arrived on the stage. I was just like, what the fuck is going on?
I was like, who's this?
My contacts were bothering me a little bit, and I didn't have like a full frontal view of the stage. So
you were like Hans Moleman in the what?
A little bit. It was just like a lot was going on. Okay. I had a great view of the ring, and like I was at an angle to the stage, so I couldn't necessarily see everything. Right. So Will Ospreay comes out as if from a cryogenic chamber, having no idea what's going on with the Death Riders, but knowing that he needs to murder them.
Yes.
Which is very funny.
Well, it's fitting in the storyline, because when he had the lights out cage match with them, that was all about sort of him. He was already positioning himself as sort of defending the soul of the company.
Right.
And I was looking up at this a little bit because I'd forgotten, but like he showed up during Hangman's match with Mox to try to help keep them from interfering, and they basically gave him the beatdown. So there's an existing grudge here, and it all kind of hangs together and makes sense.
Certainly.
But I forgot about it all, and I also was like, why does he care?
Forbidden Door feels like a long time ago.
It does. It's a long time.
Although Will's recovery from having a fucking cervical fusion does not feel like very long ago, and I'm definitely
he's all right.
I know that he wouldn't be out there if he wasn't approved to be out there, but damn, that was fast. I was expecting it to take longer. So let's talk about Will a little bit, because clearly this is, we're going to get a big push. We were all saying, well, All In, London, Ospreay's going to get some kind of major push, if not winning the title at this event, right? So he comes back on the Dynamite following Revolution to have a singles match against Blake Christian, which was fun. Okay.
Good match.
We can question the choices made there, but I'm happy to see those two guys.
Yeah.
No
they're
complaints.
Both good. Good job.
Then we get a promo, like then we're starting to promo with the Death Riders, right? Like Pac wants a piece of Ospreay, and Ospreay wants Mox, but he'll take Pac first, kind of thing.
Yeah. He
says like, I'll fight you, Pac, but I want Mox at Dynasty. I must have missed something. I don't really get why Pac is now just being fed to Ospreay, because he's not winning.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's two reasons. I think the sort of real world reason is because Tony Khan wants to see them fight, and I do too.
Sure. I'm very into this, like
I'm very
Jordy
into it.
Versus Chav situation.
Especially like Pac now. I guess they've fought before at least once when Ospreay had the international title, which I had completely forgotten about if I even knew it. But I was looking stuff up, and he had a defense with Pac. And then the kayfabe reason, I think Pac just said, which is that Pac wasn't able to be there during the lights out cage match. So I think Pac just is like, I didn't get to have the fun. I want to have some fun I missed out on.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm
dry now and I'm ready.
I'm dry and I'm ready. Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, sure, this version of Pac that we have now, and Ospreay, I want to see him fight. Sure, let's do it.
Absolutely, no complaints about that. So, but again, a little bit of a foregone conclusion, because we have Mox and Ospreay set up for Dynasty.
So, what if Pac won?
Really?
What if he won?
I guess. What if he did? I don't expect it to happen.
No, probably not. Yeah. No.
And so now Mox is dealing with his guilt or lack thereof about having injured Will Ospreay. I don't know why anybody would expect him to have any kind of guilt.
Well, I think that's Mox's position, is that he's just like, you got yourself into this situation. What did you expect?
Right.
You got yourself. Maybe I should have said it more in a Mox voice.
Yeah, do it again, but like Mox.
Just go listen to his promo.
Strength of the wolf.
Well, that's why he says shark now. He was like, no, don't write wolf into my promo because I can't say it.
Please do, though. We all love it. All right, so we can get back to talking about the men's title scene as it stands.
We certainly will.
We certainly
without any
will.
difficulty.
In the meantime, we have the women's tag team title, which was just a 5-minute match.
So short. It felt too short to me, even with what they were doing.
It was like, well, we know what they're doing.
Yeah.
This one was rough because...
I mean, I will say, it just occurred to me, one of the things I appreciated about the Bucks versus FTR match was that even though I went into it just being like, well, basically I assume FTR's winning because of the meta stuff with Cage and Cope and all that, they made me feel like maybe the Bucks are winning this, and they made me bite several times that maybe they're winning.
Yeah.
This just felt like,
yeah,
oh, they're gonna win, so it's not even...
Well, with the Bucks and FTR thing, they got me to the point where I was like, well, how come we all just decided that FTR's just holding these belts till Cage and Cope come back?
Yeah.
And that's like good storytelling. That's good storytelling. And B, like, I also don't need to just take what everybody's saying as gospel.
Yeah.
Even if, yes, that's turned out to be what they're doing.
Yes.
That we don't have to actually go with that. And it's frankly more fun to think about other possibilities. So that's why sometimes I'll say
they made
stuff.
It fun. They made what might have just been like, a foregone conclusion. They made it really fun, many different ways.
They really did. I
felt really disappointed.
That's the thing about FTR matches in general. I bite a million times.
Yeah.
No matter what the outcome is supposed to be, I'm always biting.
Yeah.
Always be biting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm trying to make a conscious decision not to just assume that whatever a bunch of fans decide is about to happen is correct.
Mm-hmm.
So if I say stuff on the pod that feels like I'm delusional, maybe I'm just making a decision to be a little delusional.
Yeah, sure.
Because that's more entertaining for me. So, but yes, so the tag team title, like, of course, on the women's side, we knew that Megan and Penelope were supposed to win that match on Dynamite when Penelope got injured. And it really sucks. It just makes me feel so sad for Penelope that they just wound up having to do this as like a means to an end kind of match, with the angle of like Willow has her shoulder injured from the match with Lena previously, and just this really quick defeat.
There were so many reasons that it, like, I guess, had to happen. My only disappointment is just that it felt so short and sudden, and felt like it felt a little too much like, we have to turn the page to the next thing, so let's just do it. Like, they didn't really make it fun for me,
Yeah, exactly. Like, they're like, we tried to pull the trigger and the gun jammed, so now we got to do it really fast.
Yeah.
It does, I think Willow getting pinned here was unfortunate. Like, it made sense to me.
Yeah. And I appreciate, there was effort put into, like, the, okay, she's got it. She's doing 2 defenses, and she really got banged up with the first one. So, and then I appreciated the effort that went into sort of telling a story.
Yeah.
It's just that it felt like, if this is the last chapter of the book, it felt like really short, and like, oh, well, that's how the book ends. So we're just doing it. Okay, next thing. And I was like, wait, but you were telling a nice story. Like,
yeah. And then we can just touch on, we just watched Collision last night, where the Babes of Wrath had a little kind of behind the scenes promo. Yeah. Well, because they decided to challenge.
Yeah, they had another
match.
challenge, and they lost. And so then they were kind of like having a promo that felt very like goodbye and just sort of sad.
I'll always remember.
It was positive.
Yeah.
But, which in a way it's, I don't know. Brodido kind of did that. It's just theirs was like, always remember, never stop fighting. Like.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a similar vibe to Brodido kind of getting thrown together for this beautiful moment and then parting ways. Except, it's probably going to be about the same. And that broke my heart.
Yeah.
But
I am glad that, as you, I think, mentioned earlier today, like, it does open up. You have to sort of open up the women's division also to, like...
Right. Because
there aren't enough women.
Unlike the men's division, in the men's division, you have enough men, and B, you have enough men who came up through the indies and their whole careers being tag team specialists to have like a really strong tag specific division, so that when, of course, like a tag team like Brodito got thrown together from two singles wrestlers, and of course they're going to part ways, but it's like, on the women's side, you don't really have enough women to have a robust tag division and a singles division. And also, just by the nature of how the indies are, there aren't a lot of, like, you can't have a lot of women who are tag specialists. There's not a lot of women who get to just be like, yeah, we're a tag team. I mean, there are exceptions to this, so don't come at me with them. But, like, it's just not the same. It's not the same. So you're in this situation where it's like, well, we have to keep moving on our own. And that's fine. I think, you know, having Willow have a story with the TBS belt is the correct thing to do. And it remains to be seen what is going to happen with Harley. But she's obviously super talented. And actually, she looked amazing in that rematch that they lost. Like, they made Harley look fucking great.
Yeah, she looked really good. She might have taken the pin, but she did not look like a weak pin eater. Like
Harley looked fantastic. So, you know, I look forward to seeing whatever she does next. It's fine. But yeah, it was kind of a bummer just to have this match be so short at Revolution, and whatever. It just felt like, okay, we're correcting the wrong that happened when Penelope was injured. And it just felt so bad for Penelope to have to, like, sit out this match. But moving along, we have Swerve and Brody for the most dangerous man in AEW title. The invisible belt of most dangerous man.
Yeah, I was just kind of surprised a little bit. I think I kind of convinced myself that Brody was going to win for some reason.
After he broke the chain?
Yeah. I don't know. Which, I mean, it's fine. Sometimes they do this thing where you're building up a person and you're showing that they're powerful, but they're also still a supportive player, and they don't win. And that's what happened. But and I'm a little bit sad that, like, after this, we just kind of got a promo where he's like, I'm still looking for gold. And he's, I guess, you know, at the end of this match, like, Kenny came to help, I guess. Right? Yeah. So, like, then he was like,
that's where Kenny ran out.
Kenny for the fact that I'm still standing was part of his promo or whatever.
And we were all like, oh, Kenny's here. He's not in Japan playing Street Fighter. Yeah.
It's just, I mean, I think the story of this match and Brody after so far is Brody is a supporting player in the other stories that are being told. And he's probably, I don't know, going to take a break now, whatever. But I think I kind of in my heart hoped that Brody was going to win and there was going to be more stuff. And so I'm a little, but whatever. I'm also grateful for the story. I like what they're doing with Swerve. So
I find that in my heart, I always want to see people get elevated. Like, I always want to see, like, oh, maybe this guy could win the title.
Right.
You know, like, I always want everybody to feel like at any moment they could pull off an upset and maybe win the big one, or, like, be in the title picture.
Right.
And I understand why you can't just have everybody in the title picture all the time.
Right.
I don't know that means Brody, like, won't be in the title picture again.
Yeah.
But I do understand why, you know, would it have made sense? And then, so if Brody had won this, then what would be the angle with Kenny?
Right.
You know, like, it makes sense for Swerve to win this. I mean, we can also talk about what's happening with Swerve. We don't totally know what
of all
is
the
next, but...
of all the guys who are suddenly, like, sort of on the periphery of the men's title scene that I'm kind of like, why? Brody's not one of them. Darby is. But we can get to that later.
We will get there.
Anyway.
And as you said in the beginning, this is all happening because Tony Khan wants to play with his toys.
Yeah,
and I think that becomes very clear in the case of Darby Allin.
Right. Which I don't think is a bad approach to booking wrestling for television when it's 105 episodes a year or something like that. You know, it's a lot of stuff to fill.
Right.
Roughly speaking, your average viewer just wants to tune in and see some cool shit.
It's a never-ending comic book.
Do all the different combinations. Yeah. The stories don't matter as much as...
It's fine.
But...
we will get back to the men's... we'll get back to the men's title scene and whatever the hell is going on there, because it seems like there's some pretty clear threads emerging, but... well, you know, it's also kind of messy. It's a bit messy. It's a bit messy
I'm into
right
some
now.
Of it, but we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot that remains to be seen here. Women's world title.
Women.
Okay, so Thekla versus Stat, 2 out of 3 falls. I enjoyed this. And again, once Thekla got that first pin,
Yeah.
it became obvious, I think, to probably everyone watching to be like, well, Kris is going to get the next one, and then Thekla's going to win, right?
Right, sure.
And again, Thekla, the first pin happens pretty fast. Thekla's holding the rope.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's like the second round is much longer. Kris gets Thekla clean,
Mm-hmm.
of course.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third one is, I think, quite short again. And we just have the Sisters of Sin running in and interfering.
Right.
And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
I get it. I do think Thekla at some point needs a clean win. Heels are allowed to win clean too.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make Thekla look good if she can't get a clean win ever, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And also, Tekla's fucking awesome. Like, I love her as champ. I love her swagger.
Yeah.
I love all her promos. I love everything that's happened since she won the belt.
Yeah.
But I do think she needs to get a clean win at some point. So we don't really know who's the next challenger for the women's world title. We don't really know. It seems like they're maybe gonna put that on hold until the Owen.
I wonder.
Like, it feels like
I
guess the Owen starts after Dynasty.
Was it MINA she used the brass knucks on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She whipped him out of her bra.
Yeah.
And got MINA. So yeah, we don't really know.
Well, the Triangle of Madness is about to have to fight Brawling Birds and MINA.
Yes,
and I assume that might break out into like one of them wanting another shot at the
I could definitely see Jamie Hayter challenging. So yeah, we don't yet know like what's going to be for Dynasty, but I'm sure they're going to keep the belt on Thekla for a while because they should. But then it's like, okay, well, somebody, Ms. Mercedes Moné has been studiously dropping her belts all over the world because she is a fucking queen and amazing and the best. And so she, as I predicted, I mean, I'm not alone here, but as I thought, she's going to come back with only that Owen belt, which isn't really a belt, but she's been displaying it every time with her belt table. She's going to come back only with that and presumably be in the Owen, right? Like, she was the previous winner of the Owen. So therefore, you'd think she's automatically in the Owen, right? I don't know how that works, but I assume so.
But I assume.
And so whether, a lot of people are speculating she's going to lose everything and then she'll win the Women's World Championship at All In as a face.
Maybe.
Which I feel like we talk about stuff taking too long. I think that would be way too fast.
Yeah.
Like, I would be happy to watch that process unfold for like another year.
Right.
Personally. Right. Of like Mercedes having no belts and struggling and somehow turning. Like, I think by All In it would be too fast. Personally.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see it either way. I think the whole situation suffers from the fact that there just aren't enough women in the women's
100%.
division, and not enough women in the women's division, and not really enough on the level of like Mercedes and Toni Storm.
Oh, well, you can't be.
Like, there's something, I mean, it just it makes it a little bit like, okay, if Tekla's going to be a little rat heel, you know, stealing and then cheating to keep the belt, someone needs to take it off her, and you want it to hopefully be someone like charismatic with a dramatic face. Yeah, I agree. Probably it does feel like, oh, that would be pretty fast for like Mercedes to like crash out and face turn, and like for us to all feel like, oh, Mercedes got it, that that she's the champion now. For it to feel great. Yeah, it does feel short, but I'm struggling to think of who else could do that. Yeah, or do you just keep it on Thekla even longer? Which
they could, but I'm sure like All In is the big event. Right, of the year. Yeah. So they're going to have they have to set up some kind of monster women's title match. Whether that means they keep it on Thekla or not is another story. But like right now, it's not clear to me who the fuck is going to be in that match. Yeah. I think the Brawling Birds will probably stick together. Yeah. Willow's getting freed up. Willow could drop. Willie Mack is going to show up and. Wow. Some real juggalo shit. Some juggalo shit is about to unfold.
Is about to happen.
And I would actually love that.
All right. Anyway, I don't know. I mean, I think it starts to feel a little bit too much like there's like 10 women and everything just cycles around them and that's it. But it could, they could do a little build up to like Willow she could drop the TBS and go for
I do want to see Willow in the world title picture, but again, that kind of underlines like not being enough women.
Yeah. I mean, she's a major face. I honestly would love to see her be like the face of the company for, even if it's just like another like 3-month run for a face or whatever, but it'd be fun.
Yeah. You need more strong women in there to kind of build that scene.
But maybe Mercedes will come back and really impress us with a super amazing face turn and we're all just like, get it.
Look, I'm sure she's capable.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's capable.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to see her come back.
Yeah.
Absolutely dejected with only that little pink belt.
Yeah.
I think she's down to 2 plus the Owen belt.
Yeah.
So
I'm ready.
Yeah.
I was also ready for the trios title match.
Were you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was sort of this mechanical thing, right? Where like Jet Speed Rodeo lost the belts to the Don Callis family like a week or two, like the week before.
Yes.
And we're like challenging to get them back.
This all felt very strange to me. So yeah, this all felt very strange to me. That's one of the things in AEW that I still have yet to catch up on. Like I actually missed the bit where Jet Set Rodeo lost the belts. I knew they did. I heard they did.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so you're taking the and I was like, oh, that kind of, it's interesting. Let's take that belt off Hangman so that he can win the big one or whatever.
Yeah.
Which we'll talk about that.
Yep.
We'll talk about how I felt about that before.
When we start selling merch, it should just say, "We'll talk about that," and on the back we'll say, "We'll get to that."
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
We'll talk about that. Like the Waffly Bollocks dumbass with a podcast.
Yes.
So yeah, there was a lot that I missed, and I also don't think it's just me because I did see the card for Revolution before I showed up, so I wasn't like totally in the dark, but I was still kind of like, wait, why is Jet Speed with Mystico for this?
Right.
It felt very like, what?
I mean, it was very like, oh, okay.
So it wasn't just me. It was just okay.
I think it was just like, okay, Hangman's out because he has to be out for story reasons. We're going to put someone good in.
But to be with Mystico in particular was like wild. So they come out and they're all wearing like Mystico-inspired gear, including lucha masks.
Yeah.
And I loved this so much.
Yeah.
And I wasn't also really expecting them to win. But then, of course, when they had all the cool gear, it's like, well, maybe.
Yeah. I guess I wasn't fully sure, but I just kind of thought they would get the belts back. I don't know. But
it was an interesting mechanical move.
Yeah.
And then it all kind of made sense when they announced immediately afterward that Mystico had been officially signed and is all elite.
That if you didn't know that, it does feel a bit more like, oh, well, they're probably not going to win because Mystico is not going to be around all the time to defend them.
Right. I was thinking, oh, gosh, this is like a one-off,
right, Right.
But then again, the trios belts don't necessarily get defended that often.
Yeah.
So, as we've complained about many times.
Right.
This was such a fun match, and I wasn't really expecting to have multiple opportunities to belt Memuero with the whole arena and like have my flashlight on my phone and wave my arm around and all that stuff. So that was great fun. I was thinking in the moment that like Mystico was probably just really tired of getting booed at Arena Coliseo. Like, I don't know if they're still doing that, but for a little while, CMLL, at least the like non-tourist hardcore crowds at Coliseo were like booing the shit out of him.
Yeah.
And it's like, maybe he just needs a break.
Time for a change of background. Yeah.
So Jet Speed. So this permutation of the Don Callis family with the belts was Okada. I never remember what fucking permutation of the Don Callis family is in any particular thing. So we had Okada, Fletcher, and Davis for this. And just a really enjoyable match. And there's so much going on with the DCF since then that it's a little hard for me to keep track of. Yeah. But also Jet Speed have been amazing.
Yeah, they've been amazing.
In the ensuing time.
Yeah.
Although they've been mostly acting as singles. wrestlers.
They've been doing both, and it does feel like that is a nice sweet spot for the trios belts. Is like it gives some people who are good at fighting together the opportunity to keep doing that and to be champions while they're also doing singles work.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It is interesting that they got it off Hangman and then did what they did.
Yeah. I think part of the math here was a little weird because I didn't know Mystico was going to be all elite. So I think I mainly felt like they were going to win because it just seemed weird for these three rando non-callous folks to be the trios champs. I don't know. I just didn't.
Well, you knew that couldn't stay.
Yeah.
Because
I feel like the Don Callis family stuff is a little bit screwy right now because the modus operandi, the mission statement from Don is we're going to get a bunch of these titles. We're going to get all the gold. But primarily the gold he's interested in is singles gold. So
right. And he's been kind of cock blocking Kyle Fletcher from talking about wanting to go for the men's world championship.
Yeah.
And pushing Andrade instead, which
meanwhile Andrade, we learned later, is there seems to be some deal we don't know everything about with MJF.
Right. Andrade, so there's multiple pending precipitous face turns happening within the Don Callis family. And to me, it's not exactly clear what the timeline is going to be for any of this.
It's almost like everyone thinks Take is going to do a face turn. Well, what if everybody felt like they were going to do a face turn?
Well, this is why I'm a little, I got a little frustrated because it's they've been telegraphing this Takeshita face turn and split from the DCF for a while. Mm-hmm. They were sort of teasing the Proteshita thing, and then when Kyle got screwed by Okada in the end of the C2, it was well, are they actually going to pull the trigger on having Kyle leave with Takeshita?
Right.
And now I thought at the time, I don't think they're going to leave at the same time. Mm-hmm. I think Takeshita's going to go first. I think there's going to be some sadness and pathos, and then I think Kyle is going to realize how fucked up the DCF is and then peel off. And that still could be what happens, but just there's been a lot of time since then, and it's not clear what the fuck is going to happen now.
Yeah.
I was annoyed initially when Takeshita and Kyle had their little sort of reconciliation promo.
Right.
Because they had the little soap opera, you forgave Okada? And then walking away kind of thing.
Right.
And then I'm well, but now what?
Right.
What are we doing here? You just, okay, so you guys made up, so now what happens?
Right.
Because Kyle and Okada are still working together.
Right.
And then last night on Collision, I forgave them because I was what the fuck? What is this? What's happening?
Yeah.
And then Okada had this absolutely hammy-ass promo with Kyle about it. I'm remember, Proto-Okada? I was okay. If this is all just a vehicle...
Takeshita doesn't care about family like we do. We are the leaders of Don Callis family.
If this is all a vehicle for insane Okada hamminess, I understand. I accept that.
Yeah.
But
it feels very much like the key is there's a lot of after school drama, soap opera drama going on, and it's not clear yet where they're going. But yeah, it's fun though. So
and then Andrade seems like he's showing some misgivings also about the machinations of Don Callis. So let's talk about his match with Bandido.
Okay.
This was the match I was probably looking forward to the most. And I'm not sure I would say that lived up to my expectations. I think not because it wasn't a great match, but I think some of the pacing near the end of this event and some of the ways the matches were literally booked where they were on the card was a little bit off for me. I think the pacing was a little bit off. I think if this match maybe should have gone earlier. I know somebody else said this in the pod on the podcast world, and I agreed with it. The part where they were we were all yelling for everybody to take their pants off, and I really enjoyed the stripping for the stars aspect of that, and including Bandido getting his foot caught in his pants,
so funny.
Which I couldn't tell if that was a work or not, that he was stuck.
I don't know, but
either
I want to believe it was a work.
Either way, it was really fun, and I enjoyed Andrade waiting a moment and then taking advantage of it by attacking him.
Yeah.
the greatest moment, I think, of this match was Bandido doing the 21 plex on Andrade while he was prone.
That was beautiful.
On the mat, just being like, well, shit, I can't get it the way I normally do, so
Yeah.
I'm just going to get him from the floor.
Yeah.
Sick.
He's amazing.
Sick shit. I love Bandido so much. I don't know what's happening with Bandido. I heard something about visa issues, but again, that could always just be like, you know, there are so many ways to explain why somebody's not around.
Yeah.
And whether that's real or not, we don't know. And we will not know. But very happy to get another chance to see Bandido in action personally. And hope he's back soon.
Hope so.
But so it seems like he's kind of been written out of this scene at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much going on. He deserves a break if he wants one. And also, like, you know, again, we're not going to go through all the Ring of Honor stuff, but
no,
it's neat that they've had a location they're filming in.
Right, that happened since we last recorded.
Yeah, in fact, I didn't realize this, but when I was looking at Cage Match for today, just because we were going to record, and I was like, what the fuck even happened?
Yeah.
I didn't realize the first few, like, shows were all kind of filmed, like, the same time. They can film so much stuff all at once.
They're filming, I think, about once a month.
Right.
At the studio.
And some dark matches are listed on Cage Match too, which it didn't even occur to me, like they might even they've got matches they can bank for later too.
Yeah.
So even for there.
Yeah.
But
I'm pretty much enjoying the studio vibe. I think the show has been good. I think, especially now that they've done it a couple times and now they have like more people in the audience.
Yeah.
The vibes are getting better.
Yeah.
I think it's a good move for them. What I do hate is the fucking Duval chant
so
every time
irritating.
There's a 2 count. And the problem is, if they're filming in Jacksonville as their home, I either have to get used to this or stop watching Ring of Honor.
Well, yeah.
Because honestly, it grates me so hard. Like, I love Ring of Honor. And as I said on Blue Sky, I've been here being Ring of Honor's fucking strongest soldier for 6 months, sharing the cards every week and all this shit. And I'm not here to listen to annoying Jacksonville fans every week. It's very
irritating.
That's going to actually maybe make me stop. Because you can't just turn off the annoying people in the audience. I want to hear everybody.
Right.
So, guys, stop fucking doing that. Please.
Stop doing that.
Please, I beg you, make them stop.
But what I wanted to say about Bandido was...
Sorry.
So if he is not available or whatever, and they're going to film a whole bunch of stuff all at once, well, he's not going to be in it. And then also, though, just Ring of Honor storyline wise, though, I feel like, and again, it's all very slow building and slow whatever, but like there's a few people, especially like Blake Christian, can't remember who else right now, but there's some similar sort of like some people with their eyes on the Ring of Honor Men's World Championship.
Sammy Guevara, Beast Mortos.
So it's going to have to happen. Like Bandido's going to have to be doing some defenses for, and they've got Super Card of Honor coming up, and maybe they'll just do something there and take it off him. I don't know, but because he's so popular in AEW right now. So
it's true. I guess it depends what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Ring of Honor storytelling is a whole other issue.
Well, yeah.
You know, the care that's taken to tell actual stories in Ring of Honor is not great.
Yeah.
But hopefully with the studio show, maybe that will start turning that around. I don't know.
We shall see.
Speaking of people who are amazing on Ring of Honor, I'm so excited about Hechicero winning the CMLL belt off Claudio. And I think it's really cool, actually, that Claudio is now dual contracted with CMLL.
Great. It's so cool.
For whatever that means, I don't know
like
how much weight that actually carries, but I think it's a cool gesture.
Yeah.
And I also love that he immediately then dropped the belt to Hechicero. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
So well deserved.
Yeah. But
not too into Hechicero's new theme. Sorry, Ruckus. Just really liked his old one.
Of course. Everybody, if you've listened to us, you know we love the Hechicero Alchemy Rave music.
Yes.
So, but presumably he wanted a change.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I assume it's his choice, and I'll be happy to see him come back and be announced as the CMLL heavyweight champ.
The heavy world champ.
The heavy world champ.
Yes. Okay, so let's go back to Revolution for a bit. Before we have our men's world championship Texas death match, we have the party match preceding it.
Yeah.
Darby Allin, Orange Cassidy, and Roddy Strong against the Dogs.
The Dogs.
Why? I know they probably can't use War Dogs, but damn, could you have come up with anything other than the Dogs? Clark Connors, David Finlay, and Gabe Kidd. What do I want to say about this? I am delighted that Roddy is conglomerating. I fucking told you all.
Yeah. And I like that they sort of saved like him doing an official announcement of it until a little bit later.
Yes,
but
it was, I guess, the Collision
yeah,
the following week.
yeah.
Yeah. I love this emergence of OC and Roddy as a tag team.
It's really interesting.
I
Yeah.
don't love everything about it. Like the bit of Roddy tossing OC as a weapon is very funny,
It's funny.
but like I don't have a problem with that from a dignity standpoint, if you will, but I do think it could be overdone. And
Sure,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? It's like a very
It's kind of
delicate
funny because
balance.
it's exactly fits with Orange's character, sort of. It's just like, all right, yeah, just throw me, whatever.
Yeah,
But
whatever.
well, and it's such a perfect pairing for the story of Roddy finally joining,
Yeah.
because Orange is kind of exactly the kind of person he would be like, I don't want to be with these guys because of people like him.
Well, that
But
was
he learned to love
effectively
him.
OC was basically
Yep.
the reason
Yeah,
that he
yeah,
didn't want to conglomerate,
exactly,
right? He's like,
exactly.
well, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then, you know, you gotta give in, Roddy, and learn to love him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I love this. I would love for OC and Roddy to go for the tag belts at
That would
some
be
point.
fun.
I think that would be really enjoyable. I think there's still some questions about where OC is kind of headed.
Yeah.
But
well, we're getting this whole build up for
It's
FTR,
okay.
Cope and Cage, but we did at like the last time they were doing it, they did this thing where
Yes.
they played Orange's music and they had Roddy and Orange come out because they were the next match while
Right.
like FTR were leaving.
Right.
So like a little overlap thing just so they could do this. But and Stoke made a big point of like bumping into Orange for some reason.
Yeah.
As usual, there's a little bit of like, I don't really know why we're doing this, but we are setting up like at least probably a match between, you know, FTR and the conglomeration before we get to Cope and Cage or something like that.
I don't want them to feed the glom to
I know.
FTR. That would bum me out.
I know.
I don't think they're doing that before.
You don't think so?
No, because
Okay.
they're doing Cope and Cage
Oh,
at
you're right,
Dynasty,
you're right,
and
you're right.
Dynasty is practically tomorrow at
Right.
this point. So
It just seems weird to me. I was like, well,
Yeah.
okay, they're going to do this before, but you're right. That's practically tomorrow.
So, like, presumably, I assume Cage and Cope are winning these belts. I mean, that's what everybody
You're right.
expects, right? In Canada, whatever, they're going to win the belts. But, like, yeah, then maybe something will happen with the conglomeration and FTR following that.
Maybe they'll just have a little, like, lick their wounds feud or something.
Maybe.
I do want Kyle O'Reilly to come back, too.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I'm really bummed that we don't have an update on Kyle O'Reilly by this point, and I just really hope he just pops up at Dynasty.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Because, again, I don't know if his injury was real.
Right.
Or if he was just taking a break.
Or how severe it is, if it's real.
It felt like a work to me at the time, but like I don't know. What do I know?
Yeah.
But I just hope he just pops up in his hometown.
Yeah.
For Dynasty, and I was really hoping he'd be back in like I was hoping he'd be in the title scene. Talk about me always wanting people to get elevated into the title scene, but like. Yeah. He was so amazing in the C2.
Yeah.
Or no, he didn't. He wasn't in the C. I mean, right before the C2.
Before the C2.
He left before the C2.
His feud with Mox was really building him up, and he's a good face. He's a good talker.
He was so good, and I just really wanted to see him kind of challenging for big things, and hopefully he'll be kind of back on the scene.
Yeah, and I also just say this where I say this. I really enjoyed this Tornado match, and I've enjoyed seeing Orange and Roddy do their thing, and it's sort of funny to see them paired with Darby Allin a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not into it.
No, well, I'm not. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we could talk about Darby Allin, but I just wanted to say I always struggle with the new people who come in, particularly when I'm missing other people. I barely saw Jay White at all and the Bang Bang Gang, and I miss all those guys, and then they're giving me the War Dogs. I'm like, I don't know who the fuck these guys are, and I don't care about them.
Right.
That's my like honest upfront feeling, but I will admit I kind of just have that feeling about everyone new. So I have to try to be like, maybe over time.
Who are all these fucking people?
But for me, who I am finding over time, my taste does not lend itself to these wacky, like, we start the match with a car crash and I'm jumping into a coffin. Like, I'm fine. Like, there's a kid in me that likes it, like, for one time, but I don't need it over and over and over again. And so when new guys are introduced, both as they're new and I'm just immediately like, well, I don't know who you are, so I don't like you. And they're introduced as like, well, we're feuding with Darby Allin and we're really goofy and I'm running on all fours and we're just wild and crazy and doing. I'm just kind of like, oh, Okay.
Look, I'm happy that so far I like Clark Connors and I like David Finlay. Like I like whatever fucking weird shit those guys have going on. Gabe Kidd, again, it's like a little too like manic. Like it's a little too similar to Darby in that regard. Like we're just manic and yelling.
Leo Rush does it better anyway.
True.
Leo Rush is doing weird better.
If we're having a Gollum off, I'm voting Leo Rush.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, let's talk about Darby a little bit, because so when we first started getting into AEW, I got a little bit fixated on Darby. He's fun to watch. Mm-hmm. Like I went back and watched a bunch of his matches and stuff. I'm not anywhere near as I wasn't like super familiar with him, but I was excited about his gimmick or whatever. And I just don't see, it's not evolving in a way that's interesting to me.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think whatever character work he's doing, is he doing character work? I don't know. It's not doing anything for me.
Well,
the fucking flip a car in the parking lot thing does nothing for me.
Yeah.
When I do get to, I've said this many times on the pod, so I apologize, but when I do get to see him do actual technical wrestling, I'm usually like, wow, why don't they let him do that all the time?
Yeah, I love that.
Because like he's really good.
I like his matches when he's doing an actual wrestling match and there's wrestling.
Yes, I don't enjoy seeing him get fucking ragdolled, drooling all over the place for 10 minutes at a time. Like he can go.
Yeah.
Have him go.
And I don't mind the occasional, like, oh my God, he's going through that pane of glass moment.
Right.
But I feel like there's this tendency to be like, well, it's Darby. Everything should be that all the time.
I mean, So Darby, at this moment, he seems to be like done with the dogs. Like, I don't know. It sounds
I'm crossing my fingers. I thought he was done with he's been in several like tornadoes of stuff.
Feuds that are just like not exciting.
They don't end.
But at this moment, unless I'm forgetting something, it seems like he's kind of done with the dogs and like doing an active push toward the men's world title.
That's I think what his last promo,
which I find fucking exhausting. So as evidenced by the last Dynamite, we had his match with Roosh was the last match of the night and billed as a double main event, meaning the women's world title again could not be the main event. Like, double main event my ass. Stop it. Also, to be fair, it has come to my attention and I have some understanding that like being the last match of the night from a television ratings perspective might not actually be the plum position. Right. But like the spirit of how people feel about what is a main event. Yeah. Why the fuck are Darby Allin and Roosh the main event here?
I almost understand Darby because I know he's been around a long time. He's a draw. People, kids love him, whatever. I don't get Roosh. And I don't get that a lot of
dudes love Roosh. Like, people were really excited around me in the stadium to see Roosh in the Battle Royale. I'm not really like an LFI. I don't know. He just doesn't, that shit, Roosh does not do it for me.
To me, as I don't know, as like an outside observer of men.
As an outside observer of men. Adam is actually right now wearing his purple hoodie from MJ Wrestle Trash.
I'm a deathmatch girly.
He's wearing his deathmatch girly hoodie, which I insisted we buy him, and I love it so much.
But I have been sort of outside average, the standard
I understand what
my
you
whole
meant.
Life. And
I understand what you meant.
I get that a sort of generic cocky douche persona is, for whatever reason, generally admired.
A really oiled up cocky douche man.
And like, men like that. It's such a fine line for me to enjoy someone who's doing that. And like, I didn't even like Sammy Guevara, who kind of was doing the same sort of thing for a bit, but he's...
What?
Maybe it was never...
Sammy's like a little weasel guy.
He is weaselly, but I feel like he's really ramped up, that he's made changes that have made his heelery more engaging over the last few months for me. For a little bit, it was too far into like, this is oily and I don't like what you're doing. And now he's gotten more fun.
I am definitely amused by what he's been up to.
Yeah. But Roosh, for me, is just a little too like, yeah, he's kind of generic, cocky,
aggro douchebag.
Yeah, and
should we talk about another oiled up douchebag?
Sure.
Or do you want to?
Who are you talking about?
I was going to get to the men's world championship match.
What? We actually might go back to talking about Revolution.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Sure. Yeah.
Let's talk about
enough Darby. I don't know why he's. Yeah.
Oh well, what I will say about the whole thing with Darby. Well, no, let's get back to the we'll get back to the men's world title vibes.
Yes, I'm sure we'll get back.
Let's talk about Texas stuff. Okay. Coming into this, I sort of felt like it could kind of go either way. I know I said on the pod, like, wouldn't it be so fun for MJF to lose in like a devastating way on his birthday?
Yeah.
And yeah, I still thought that could be cool and fun. But by the time they were doing the intros, like, well, for one thing, as soon as some joy happened in the trios division, and then with the party match, I was like, we were both texting each other like, uh-oh, like this doesn't, it was a really dark event. Like, it was not a good day for the good guys overall. Like, so many fucking heel wins, but then to have like a little bit of joy before the final main event, I was like, uh-oh.
It was fun.
And then the intro with the trumpeter and the Hangman pastiche, I was looking at it going like, oh, he's gonna die. and honestly, that's what makes the most sense from a narrative standpoint. With the stip and all this shit. And like, what is the story we're telling about the hubris of Hangman, right? Once again, we're going to get to hubris. He said, no, I don't need no help. I can sabotage me by myself. Hangman, had given his word he will never challenge for the men's world championship as long as he lives. I thought this match, so when we got the cage match stuff, I was like 46 minutes. I thought it was longer.
Oh, really?
Or no, I thought it was gonna be longer because MJF has a history of having like super long matches. It didn't feel, I'm sorry, I didn't feel like it was longer. It felt like it moved to me. Like, I think a lot of people complained that it was too long or too slow. And I think the slowness is probably just the nature of that death match, like with all the props and stuff like that. I didn't find it
when
agonizing
you told me it was 46
all.
minutes, because I didn't even notice that in the document. I was like, what? I thought it blew by for me watching
I kind of felt that way too, honestly. When Hangman fell down and hit his bloody splotch onto the camera, I actually yelled like, clean it off, because I thought the match was going to continue a little longer. And I was like, oh no, he dead. Okay.
Yeah.
So how we felt about the match. I enjoyed the match. There were some, like, MJF, I never quite know if he's going to be serious. He had some very funny moments. The fucking entrance promo thing with pissing on Hangman's grave felt, so for one thing, his outfit, I did not fully get all the like Terry Funk references, but I enjoyed those retrospectively. While I was watching the video, which was very, very funny, I was thinking, God, what in the Mel Brooks is like? It felt like it really fit in with
Blazing Saddles or something.
Or it just felt like it really fits in with MJF as a person from Long Island who kind of grew up in this like milieu. I can tell that what MJF is doing is like an older person. Like his gimmick is very like boomer humor, and it's a very specific kind of boomer humor. It's like, and it's Jewish. It's in a tradition. It's like, it's in a Jewish humor tradition, but it's not like contemporary humor. Like, this felt very, very Mel Brooks to me, and it made me laugh, and I really enjoyed it, and I thought it was good. But then, coming out in the fucking Burberry poncho, it's all very fun. I enjoyed it. And then, his other really goofy moment was sweeping the broken glass off the thing. Very, very enjoyable.
Well, I really liked his couple of times, or at least once, exclaiming that he wouldn't do that indie shit in the middle of a match in which he then proceeds to do a bunch of indie shit.
Oh, of course.
I really loved that. That was, as having seen several indie death matches now, I'm like, funny joke, sir.
Yes. The fact that they use skewers in
Yes,
this match, I was
yes.
like, whoa, what in the GC dub is this? Like,
exactly.
is Charles Mason about to show up?
Right.
Like, what?
Right.
Yeah, it did feel very like Outlaw Mud Show.
Yes.
In a good way,
Yeah.
I think. I enjoyed it.
I had fun.
And truly, once that dog collar came out, I was like, oh, Hangman put it on himself, and he got hung by it, hanged by it, and I think that was, he's telling a story, you know. And so at the end of the match, you know, when the bell rings, that was it. You know, there was no big after scene. The lights came up. Everyone started leaving because the show was over. Right. They weren't trying to get you to stay, unlike Full Gear with Swerve. They weren't like trying to get you to stay and keep yelling. And I remember seeing someone on Blue Sky being like, that crowd sucked. They just left at the end of the match. And I'm like, we left because the house lights came on and everybody was making us leave. Like that's how it works at the end of a show. Right. It was the end of the show. What were we supposed to do? Stand there yelling? Right. Like nobody was there.
Storm the ring.
Yeah. Lick the blood up off the ring. Like, you know, anyway. But I just remember walking out feeling like, oh boy, here we go. You know, like here we go. Yeah. Here's the next part of the story. Yeah. And how do I feel about the stip? I think that I can't have an opinion on the stip until it's probably going to take like a year of storytelling for me to know how I feel about the stip. Yeah. My initial reaction is just like, ooh, this feels really risky. But I also have some faith, not necessarily in Tony. I don't know if it's faith in Tony Khan or faith in the person who portrays Hangman Adam Page or what, but I don't have a reason to believe that they're going to do a Cody Rhodes or that the only solution is for just Hangman to have a heel turn. Right. And like, maybe he will eventually, but I just don't see, I would be surprised personally if there's like an imminent heel turn and then he's like, fuck my word, you know? Right. But we'll see. I just feel like there's a lot of shit that could possibly unfold here and I'm not really worried about it. Right. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think I've taken in too much media that just finds stupid loopholes for things that I'm comfortable with it. You know, like science fiction and horror and whatever, and it's like, oh, well, it's kind of just like kids in the sandbox, and it's like, oh, well, actually I win this time because you didn't know this happened. And I'm just like, yeah, I mean, it's cheap storytelling, but like, I don't know.
I have faith that Hangman, the person who portrays Hangman, wants to tell a good story that is not just like a shitty retcon in the end or like, you know.
Yeah, well, and I don't even mean like a retcon. I guess I just mean like, I feel like I've read people having very strong opinions about this stip, but as I think me not having lived through the whole Cody Rhodes thing.
Yes, that is our huge privilege that we weren't traumatized by the whole Cody thing.
Right. Yeah. And I don't know. I'm just like, whatever. To me, it's just a new wrestling stip and I'm sure they'll do something and then they'll move on. And it's like, okay.
It feels very, it feels very dangerous because you can't necessarily predict how the crowd will respond to the ongoing story. Like even if you have a really great story in mind, the crowd has to participate. And crowds are stupid. Yeah. So it's a little tough. I think Trish and Sarah in particular had some really good analysis of the whole situation. I don't necessarily agree with everything or like think that because they said it, that's what's going to happen or whatever, but I really appreciated their analysis of like, what does this mean for like Hangman as a top guy? Are they trying to move him out of the way to like elevate Ospreay? Or like what are we doing? I don't know. I think it's a tough one, but I love that we're telling a story about like Hangman has this problem with recklessness. Yeah. Hangman has this problem with hubris and recklessness. Right? And I love a messy ass reckless guy. Like I love the replacements. You know? Right. I love somebody who's always getting in his own way for no real reason. Yeah. Right? Like I'm an Al-Anon. No, I'm just kidding. But I like that kind of story, and I'm hoping they can stick the landing. Yeah, that's the part that's scary. Yeah, because like they could still really fuck it up.
Yeah, but it's true. I mean,
so far I'm buckled in. You know?
I'm buckled in. I think it's like I'm less concerned with, oh, how's he going to get out of this, than just like, yeah, I think you're right. I hope it's a good story in the end. And also I'm a little bit like, well, the stories aren't always good. If it's not, then it'll move on and there'll be other stories like but
Yeah.
I hope they stick the landing.
I mean, I
Yeah.
still want to see him get hauled off to the underworld at the CMLL Dia de Muertos event, and
Right.
then he's like, "Well, I died."
Yeah. As long as I said, as long as I live, now I'm dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's been a lot of
Was
joking about
indirectly.
like zombie Hangman, but
Yeah, I mean,
I think that would be a really funny way to do it. But
there's so many fun ways to do this, and even if he does like, who knows what he wants, who knows what
I don't know.
anybody want,
Yeah.
but like, I'm also glad they're doing something interesting, even if the main short-term goal is just, let's take him off the chessboard for a bit, so that
Yeah.
like, it could be worse. It could just be like, oh, fake injury, he's not around, and now, now we're
It
doing stories for, but
yeah.
like, you also can't only have one major baby face and everyone else is like really seen as much lower.
Yeah.
It's like, you have to start building up all, I mean, they're doing a lot of building up, but I just mean, you have to do these gambles on like, maybe the crowd's also really going to like this guy, maybe the crowd's also really going to like this guy, so that you can,
Yeah. The crowds are really weird about Hangman, and Hangman's really good at working the crowd though. Like,
Mhm.
I remember when he came out at the beginning, the crowd was like mixed, and I remember that from Full Gear too, and being like, why is the crowd so mixed on this guy?
Mhm.
Like, to me, I'm just like, why are we not cheering him?
Yeah.
But I mean, there are reasons that we don't need to get into right now, but we've talked
Mhm.
about in the past. But he's really good at getting the crowd to cheer him during the match.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I and I think whether the crowd winds up going along with the story or not, I do think there's reason to believe that Tony Khan has a lot of faith in Hangman, and like investment in Hangman as
Mm.
a character. So I don't think any of this is evidence of him getting thrown away. In fact, I think the fact that he made this step, reckless and stupid and crazy as it might be, means that no matter what happens with the men's world title, we're always thinking, and what about Hangman in the background?
Right. Right.
Like, he's always there.
Yeah.
And if they just wrote him off, or like there was no stip, or they just wrote him off for faking an injury or whatever, we wouldn't necessarily have that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. It's interesting.
I'm
It's a
very
little
interested to
scary.
see where it goes, because like, I think it's time to sort of, it feels right to sort of be like, well, let's try to see what it's like to have someone else be the main babyface. I wouldn't really want it to just be like MJF has it until All In and then Hangman wins it back. Like,
That
let's
would have been
just,
awful.
that, right, like, that, if we just did that, that would
Well,
suck.
yeah, that would have been terrible. Well, let's talk about where the men's world title
Yeah.
scene is
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
So, immediately after Revolution on the next Dynamite, Kenny challenged Swerve to put up his like number one contendership slot
Mm-hmm.
again. And then Swerve said, yeah, if you give up your powerful EVP status.
Yeah.
And for a little while, I was like, wouldn't it be funny to have like heel? I mean, I guess we had heel EVPs with
Yeah.
the Bucks, but
Yeah.
like, Swerve is such a
Swerve would
different
have a
heel.
different take on
He's
it.
such a
Yeah.
different heel than the
Yeah.
Bucks ever were. So yeah, so they set up this match with Swerve and Kenny, and
I would
was
say
kind
it
of
would be
like
pretty dangerous for him to be
the most
the most
dangerous, in
dangerous.
fact. Kenny, I mean, we were watching the match together, and I was like, oh, Kenny's gonna win this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not totally sure where they're gonna go with Swerve
Yeah.
from here either, but again, I'm okay. Like, they're building this thing, and it's funny to have waited 3.5 months for a pay-per-view, and now there's one a month after.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh shit. Now everything was like so slow, and now we're rushing.
Yeah.
So yes, Kenny as the challenger to MJF for Dynasty makes a lot of sense. I assume / hope Kenny is going to get the title here.
I think that would be nice. I don't know what we do after that, but
well, yeah. I mean, I think at the beginning of the year we said Kenny wins around this time, and then, well, we said a bunch of shit. We said a bunch of shit in the middle, but the idea of Kenny going against Ospreay at All In was kind of like an end game that we, and I think a lot of other people, have discussed.
Yeah.
So if that's what it is, I think that's cool. I think
That's fine. My thoughts on that at the moment are like, okay, but if they're kind of both being faces, sure, it'll be a great match. But like, I mean, again, so I feel like
that's a good question there.
I have been really enjoying not reading a lot of Blue Sky or other internet stuff lately.
Honestly, same. I realized I missed so much rancid discourse
A lot of
while I
rancid
was
discourse.
out. Like, whew, I gotta keep staying off there.
And there's also a lot of like, a novel is not a good comparison, right? Because it's ongoing scripted television. But just to use an analogy, there's a lot of sort of like reading one page and then ranting about how terrible the writing is and the story's going nowhere when like you didn't read the next page and the next page. And it's like,
people make up
there's a lot of that, and it's just like, okay, well, I'm gonna wait and see.
Yeah.
And certainly there's things to criticize, but so I don't want to get into that trap, but I do have so like, I'm just gonna wait and see if that's what they're doing, what's the story they build, is it an interesting story? But at the moment there's a little like, well, what would the story be? I suppose Kenny's been hitting this note occasionally of like, I don't call myself a god, it's the people who called me a god, and then he's calling himself a god. So there's kind of this thing where like, well, Kenny's a face right now, but is he gonna like position himself a little bit as like hubris-y as well if he wins?
Well,
like,
I mean, Kenny's we haven't seen a lot of it, but Kenny was like a huge heel.
Oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
He's been tweenery and all that stuff. So I don't think Kenny's necessarily going to come, if there is like a match against Ospreay. I don't think Kenny's necessarily coming into it as a baby face.
But
we'll see. We'll see. Yeah. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to let those guys worry about that.
I do want to say, I also, the idea that Hangman might fully turn heel, to me, I think people are like, well, we don't want that because they only see it. I feel like there's this vision that like, well, he's just going to turn heel so he can renege on the stip. I would like to see him not turn heel to renege on the stip, but just we've seen him as a heel, but his whole like heel run, at least when we joined and stuff, he's like doing bad things, but he's not like a heel, right?
Yeah.
He's like still believes he's just like consumed with vengeance.
He's going through it.
He's going through it. And we're in a place now where, and I'm really sad I didn't mention it earlier, but Swerve's Candyman themed entrance.
Yeah.
Now I will admit,
you're the horror buff.
I'm a horror buff. I'm not enough. There's a lot of horror stuff I've never watched all the Halloween movies. I've never watched all the there's a lot of things I didn't watch a lot of. I've only seen Candyman once. I don't know a shit ton about it, but. And I didn't see, even when I first watched it, I didn't see like, oh, the honeycomb theme. I was just sort of like,
I didn't see it either because of my angle to the screen. I wouldn't have perceived the honeycomb part.
Right.
But yeah.
But kick ass. I love that he did that.
Swerve is so fucking hot, and like
also that
when he really goes all out on his like eye makeup and his whole like crazy look, whatever he does for pay-per-views. Like, god damn it, Swerve.
But so he's doing a very. He came back and we're all like happy to see him back, and we're like, oh, he and Hangman kind of made up, and like there's this sort of like, and then the curtain comes off and we see he's a heel.
Right.
He's not doing any
which should have been clear from the jump.
Yeah, shoulda, coulda, but so it's very clear now.
And I appreciate how hard he's been working to try to get the audience to boo him.
Yes, absolutely.
That it's no coincidence that his recent big match was with Kenny again and with Aubrey again as the ref. Like, I was like, Aubrey revisiting the scene of her own murder. It's like, well, because the fans immediately fucking forgot that Swerve threw Aubrey into her death.
Yes.
He's like, I'm trying so hard, you guys.
Trying very hard.
But everyone just wants to chant whose house.
Yeah.
Because people love to have something to chant.
Yeah. It's hard, and I guess I'm thinking, I wonder if Hangman and Swerve are still going to be dancing around each other for a while.
I think so.
And Hangman could be engaging much more with like heel tendencies while other stuff is happening.
Yes.
But
we'll see when he comes back. I expect that he will have some kind of extended program with Swerve.
Yeah,
whatever that means.
As long as we don't just get like, for some reason, Darby wins the Owen.
Well, look, all I'll say is, so MJF cut this promo on the most recent Dynamite where he accepted Kenny as the challenger.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They are dipping into this like, you're God, I'm the devil, whatever. And then he says that the fact that he had the championship means he has, quote, reached the mountaintop. And I'm going, fuck! Don't use the word mountaintop. Darby's just going to be like, when I climbed Everest, I saw dead people. Like, no, don't use the phrase mountaintop. I'm so like not looking forward to this inevitable thing.
Yeah.
I'm not. But wow, I
mean, I will just say also, I'm excited that Ospreay is back. I hope that he stays safe. I think there's one thing that's always true, which is that whatever they have planned can be thrown away by injuries and stuff.
Right, so and we just saw now, sorry, unrelated to the current title scene, but we just saw, looks like Kyle Fletcher got injured at Collision, and we don't know how bad it is. I didn't get to like look at it again, but he had this weird little collision with Dunkzilla. Yeah. And he like wound up kind of sitting on his own ankle in a weird way, and I just hope he's okay. I saw him do some
limping. I thought it was a work, but
I hope he's okay.
Yeah.
It just really sucks.
It sucks. It sucks to have these things through. I think that's one of the reasons some of these things take so long sometimes also. But Ospreay was in a really good position when we joined, where he was like he had like the year before face turned, and had a feud, or maybe two, I don't remember when it was exactly, but remember he face turned out of the Don Callis family.
Right.
He had a feud with Fletcher. Right. Led to Fletcher becoming Protostar. Right. They, I think, had a match just in January of last year. I think that was kind of like the sort of put the nail in that feud and like resolved it. But like, he's had matches with Kenny before. He had like feuds with Kenny and like, or joining with Kenny. Yeah. I guess I'm just saying like there's stuff in the deep dark past that isn't as familiar to us because we didn't watch through it. Right. But I remember when we joined, he was doing the whole like trying to get Swerve and Hangman together. He was being positioned as sort of like one part of the spirit of the company, of the spirit of like, come on, we got to get together and defeat the Death Riders, and that we're better than this. And like, that's a strong place to be as a face of a company. And like, so if they are going to be doing like Ospreay, Bruv, can the crowd get behind him? I feel like it was really already
the crowd's behind him, but I think it remains to be seen if he's like as big of a draw as they think he is, and
sure, yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it's certainly going to be
a better gamble than Darby.
Well, I agree with that, honestly. Well, look, okay, so there's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit that's gonna get sorted out. Yeah. We haven't really talked about the Death Riders at all. They're just kind of like doing their weird little Death Rider thing at the moment. Like
they've had a bunch of sort of random matches. Like they fought the Bang Bang Gang, and they fought these people and those people. They fought Private Party recently.
That was fun.
It was fun.
That was actually a really good match. Yeah. Like I was surprised at how strong Private Party came out looking there too. I enjoyed that very much. God, we're recording on Sunday afternoon. That last night's Collision was such a fucking ripper.
It was good.
That, well, yes, and I would be remiss. We said earlier that Jet Speed has been like amazing as singles wrestlers since then, but I think we have to at least talk about Kevin Knight challenging for the international championship last night.
Yes.
Holy shit. And again, I was mad. Like I was, and I knew they weren't going to let Kevin Knight win this match. But like, you remember like the whole last minute of the match, I'm going, fuck you, AEW. I hate you for making me believe. I hate you for doing this to me. Like I knew, like the whole ending sequence, I was just like, I know this isn't going to go the way I want it to, but God, they're yanking my heartstrings. Yeah. And then to have Okada win it by holding with that same holding the ropes, cheating.
Really fucky. Seemed really so fucky. I almost wasn't sure it was real. Like,
and then the like crazy, like the fan yelling at Bryce and Bryce looking conflicted about it, and then like having to raise Okada's arm anyway. It's really just like, I know that this means they're gonna have a rematch at some point. Mm-hmm. I hope it's a double or nothing because I'm greedy and I want to see it. Yeah. But God, Kevin, my God, I love that he's got a rocket. Yeah, no shit, dude. He's got a rocket strapped to him. Yeah. Like the in the booking sense, and
Yeah.
then also he has an invisible rocket strapped to him in the
In
sense
the
that he
ring,
literally
yes.
flies.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm really, really delighted to see him in such a high profile match. And also Speedball had some good matches also since we
both
last.
him and Speedy have been rocking the singles matches lately. When they're in them, they're great. And but Kevin's got he's got something, you know.
Oh man,
and
he's
something
amazing.
Ineffable that is clear, and he's going to be around a long time, doing very well, I think.
God, let's hope so. So it seems like right now there's like a lot of messy stuff going on, and then some real gems gleaming amidst the mess. So I'm cool with that. I'm ready to like let the dust settle a little bit more. I think Dynasty, like right now we only know a couple matches for Dynasty. We know Mox and Ospreay, we know FTR, Cage and Cope, and then what's the other one we know? MJF and Kenny. So
those are all fine. You mentioned the Death Riders, and we haven't talked a lot about them. I have enjoyed that they've showed up at CMLL a few times recently.
They have. I fucking love it.
It's great. And I was reminded, because I'm scanning through the matches here, and I forgot about Claudio and Daniel Garcia versus Commander and Dorada, which was, again, a great match, and really like sort of linked thematically with like their fights with luchadors in CMLL and stuff. And it's like,
I also really enjoyed their match in St. Paul, the mixed trios match with Dan Garcia, Jon Moxley, and Marina Shafir versus Skyflight. That fucking rocked. I was hoping for an upset.
Good.
I was hoping for an upset there.
That would have been fun.
But for the hometown heroes, but that was great, and Zeta looked great. It just made them all look awesome. I love the Death Riders. I can't help it. They make everybody look great. They look like they're having so much fun.
They're always all their matches are always really good. So it's like, even if they're not really part of any particularly major storyline, although I guess Ospreay is sort of roping, bringing that in.
We'll see.
But they're just good foils and solid wrestlers. So it's always like, what are you doing?
I just hope Ospreay doesn't have to go down this same, we've talked about this, but we hope Ospreay doesn't have to go down this road of like, I have to fight every Death Rider. Like, it's so, come on.
I mean, it seems like at the moment he just wants to fight Mox, and it's Pac who's like, wait, let me get a piece of that action. I didn't get a chance before.
I need to pinch your arse first.
Anyway,
but so that's like about it. There's so much great shit that we're not covering, like Kyle Fletcher and Robbie Eagles, so fucking fun. Like there's some great shit on Ring of Honor too that like I still have missed a bunch of it.
We're like 3 shows behind now too, counting Global Wars. So
so there's like some great shit going on. Oh my god, Maya World challenging Athena with the Proving Ground match. We still haven't watched the actual title match yet. I'm sure, like, obviously really I know Athena wins it, but like
really fun to see Athena sort of have a little mini crash out there.
Oh yeah. Great. And like the love she has for Maya is so obvious, and I love it so much.
Well, Ring of Honor gave us some fun little things with MXM as well, and like they did something where they were joining with Mansoor and Mason were joining with RPG, and like
RPG Vice, and that was that match where Eddie Kingston smacked Rocky on the ass. And
we got a fun little like one match story of like, is Trent gonna pose with MXM? He doesn't really get it, and then he finally
does like a Thriller dance pose.
It's ridiculous, and
I love him.
And it's fun little
So like there's a lot of great shit going on, and I think it seems like maybe more people are starting to realize how great what's going on in Ring of Honor is, and
I feel like there's still a lot of like, it has a lot of potential. There's great stuff. Certainly a lot more women's matches in Ring of Honor. Generally.
There's a lot more women's matches. There's a lot more, they do a lot more spotlighting wrestlers of color. They do some really interesting creative shit. There's a lot more mixed tags and mixed trios. Now we haven't yet signed on for my AEW, but I'm looking forward to doing that with a VPN and pretending we're European, and getting our Ring of Honor there as well. So yeah, it's good shit. shall we leave it at that? Was there something else?
Oh, I think the last thing that I forgot about is just as part of the whole men's title thing, it feels like there's endless people who are also always saying that they want to go for the men's title and it doesn't really go anywhere. So maybe that's what'll happen with Darby. But on that note, Ricochet has had a promo very recently where he feels screwed out of his national title. And then for inexplicable reasons to me is singling out Kenny and like as an example of someone who just shows up without doing all the work and and is getting a title shot. And Ricochet is a little anyway. I'm sort of curious where that's gonna go, but
is he wrong? I mean, setting up Ricochet as a potential person to feed to champion Kenny Omega works for me.
Yes, exactly.
That works for me.
Yeah,
they're doing some kind of weird tag. They're doing a strange trios, right? It's going to be the Demand versus it's Kenny and
I don't remember.
Brody King and Jack Perry. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Just like,
is that right?
Probably.
I don't know. It was some really
like
weird.
Something Tony Khan would do. Like
it was like he really threw all his action figures together.
You can see the like faint gestures of, well, this is why there's an alliance here. That's all. It's like, well, we're allied. And meanwhile, I look forward to finding out where Jack Perry is going to be defending the national title, hearing about how that goes and how long it took him to get there in his bus, since he's not allowed to fly anymore.
Right. And also, like, why Luchasaurus has a shoulder injury? He should not be driving a bus.
Does seem not safe.
I feel like that's not a good idea. All right, let's leave it at that. This has been Chatter Machine. You know where to find us. We're on Blue Sky and Instagram. This episode will be on YouTube podcasts as well as our normal RSS feed, wherever you get your podcasts. Kindly like and subscribe and leave us a little loving review. That would be lovely. You can email us at chattermachine@gmail.com. Our theme music is by Sasha Enda on a Creative Commons license. For details on that, please check out the show notes.
And don't forget to get low.
I can't even touch my toes.